whole story, think again. I've been governor, a Navy SEAL, a fighter. I've heard things that'll blow your mind. And now I think it's time you get the whole story.
Now, the Sleeper Assassins. A government plot to turn ordinary citizens into programmed killers.
This is a real thing, not just science fiction.
Plucked from the crowd, subjected to mind control, tortured, and turned into ticking time bombs who kill on command.
You can take control over somebody's mind to the point where they essentially are your robot.
They don't know when they'll strike, and when they do, they won't remember.
Their memory is completely wiped out permanently.
Jesse Ventura and his conspiracy team infiltrate the government's hair-trigger conspiracy, and Jesse goes face-to-face with one of the killers.
This is bizarre, to say the least.
It goes beyond bizarre.
They call them Manchurian candidates, super soldiers, the government's real-life predators.
I'm Jesse Ventura, and this is Conspiracy Theory.
A downtown parking garage. A showdown between two warriors. Former Navy SEAL Jesse Ventura and a self-professed government assassin.
I was never told why. Just, that's your target, eliminate.
Jesse Ventura knows what it's like to confront an enemy on the battlefield. But what has he walked into now?
Have you killed people?
I have.
Am I in danger now?
He's about to find out, and he's ready for action.
There I was, looking into the eyes of a man who said he was a programmed killer. A killer for our government. And you want to know the strangest part? After all we'd uncovered, his story didn't seem so strange at all. It all began when we got a call from a law professor who said he'd gotten his hands on some declassified CIA papers.
We're talking about mind control.
Right?
Who are the people who are the victims? Who are the people who are the perpetrators? Mind control as an ability to take over somebody else's mind is not science fiction. It is possible.
Alan Shefflin is more than a top legal scholar. He's the award-winning author of books like The Mind Manipulators, a courtroom expert on mind control. He sought out Jesse Ventura because his research indicates the CIA is creating a new kind of weapon.
I think that the government is still in the mind control business.
Now, I'm familiar with back in the 50s and early 60s what they always term MK Ultra.
Yes.
Is that part of this?
Well, they're all related. They're all
related.
Yeah, I mean, they had interaction with all the different agencies, and they're all part of mind and behavior control experiments.
Okay.
That we certainly can prove, and the agencies don't deny that they did that.
Would these techniques ultimately lead to Manchurian candidates that we've all heard about? People who are more or less hypnotized, programmed, robotic, who would go out and do a political assassination or things of that nature?
The Manchurian Candidate. The label for the brainwashed assassin entered popular culture through a novel and 2 movies. Many assume it's all make-believe.
The first question, I think, is whether the construct of a Manchurian Candidate is possible. You know, can you take control over somebody's mind to the point where they essentially are your robot, and they're not aware that they are so acting?
And what's the answer to that?
The answer to that is yes.
So it gives plausible denial. You got the typical lone nut assassin, and no conspiracy, nobody tied to
They
him.
could never reveal the information because they didn't know they had it.
Why do you necessarily, would the government need a Manchurian candidate to do an assassination when you could take a highly trained Navy SEAL and get the job done?
Amnesia.
If they're assassinating someone who they deem should be assassinated, a villain of some sort out there in the world, say an Al-Qaeda terrorist out there, why would they feel fear of the assassin talking about it?
One of the ideas of a Manchurian Candidate is to get somebody from another government to assassinate their head of state.
What do you want me to do?
I would like you to do many things if you could. One is to investigate whether or not the intelligence agencies are continuing the psychological aspects. That work is still going on.
Still going on today.
Yeah.
I'm former military. And it bothers me greatly that our country could continue to use military people as guinea pigs. And that's one reason I think I can dig into this, because if our government is abusing our military personnel like they've been known to do in the past, I would like to turn them over for that.
It's worse than you imagine.
In a time of war, a warning that rogue elements within the government are creating a new generation of assassin through mind control. Jesse Ventura's elite team of investigators and researchers will take on this top-secret conspiracy.
Hey, I learned about all this stuff back in the 70s when it was revealed the MK Ultra program had gone on literally for 2 decades.
Isn't this stuff out of a movie?
Yeah, it was called the Manchurian Candidate.
It's CIA experimentation, and through torture, you can basically create a second personality, basically a sleeper soldier. It's doable.
So you're saying that the government is programming killers?
Well, if you're old enough, like me, you remember Sirhan, the guy who allegedly killed Robert F. Kennedy. A lot of people claim that he was programmed, and he couldn't remember after he shot him, that he didn't remember anything about it. Even today, he claims no memory of it.
Yeah, and what about Mark David Chapman, the guy who killed John Lennon?
He never attempted to escape. He killed Lennon. He had opportunity to jump on the subway, run into Central Park, whatever, and yet he stood there, dropped the weapon, stepped back, and was there reading The Catcher in the Rye when the police arrived. Pretty bizarre behavior.
Weird.
What better way to do it than to create almost a zombie-like character who will carry out the mission with no regard whether they get caught or what happens to them in the end?
We know that the CIA has tried mind control. We know that the technology exists.
I've heard all about this stuff. Now I want to know, can it really be done? Find me somebody who can show me that it can be done.
Coming up, Jesse Ventura sees how even you could be turned into a programmed killer.
When I call you on the phone, I will give you a word, and that word is...
Then, his bizarre confrontation with the U.S. Army general who invented the psychic super soldier.
They could use the mind to explode the heart of a goat.
And later, Jesse goes one-on-one with the real-life predator.
Don't be surprised if some of you Navy SEALs weren't some of us.
Jesse Ventura is chasing a deadly conspiracy, a secret government program that turns unwitting people into programmed killers, triggered through mind control. Everyone thought the program was dead. Insiders say it's not.
I think it's important for you and for people in general to really grasp that this is a real thing, not just science fiction.
Are Manchurian candidates real?
Definitely. And I
Really?
can show you some documents that'll convince you of that.
Okay. So the government is in this business.
Has been for sure, for a documented fact.